Have you ever wondered why your hair seems to change so quickly after the age of 50? Every time you brush your hair, a little more falls out. Every time you look in the mirror under bright light, your scalp becomes a little more visible. And the most heartbreaking part for many people is the feeling that they've already tried everything, yet their hair just keeps getting thinner. But here's the part that most people have never had properly explained. In many cases, hair loss after the age of 50 isn't simply caused by getting older. A hormone called DHT is quietly choking the hair follicles from within. It causes the follicles to gradually shrink, blood flow slowly decreases, and each strand of hair becomes thinner and weaker over time until the follicles eventually become almost completely dormant. And unfortunately, many popular hair growth products only try to stimulate temporary hair growth without addressing this root cause at all. In today's video, I want to share with you 5 natural oils that scientific research suggests may help reduce the effects of DHT, support a healthier scalp, promote thicker hair, and in many cases, even help reactivate weakened hair follicles after the age of 50. And if you're watching this right now and feel like your hair just isn't what it used to be, make sure to subscribe to the channel today, because sometimes simply understanding what's really happening inside your body can change everything. And now, let's begin with the very first oil, castor oil. A lot of people think it's just an old-fashioned home remedy, but interestingly enough, modern science has started paying much closer attention to it. Castor oil contains a unique fatty acid called ricinoleic acid. This compound may help calm inflammation around the hair follicles. And that might sound simple, but this is exactly where things start to get really interesting. When the scalp stays mildly inflamed for long periods of time, the hair follicles begin to weaken very quickly. DHT can attack more easily. Hair strands become thinner, more fragile, and more hair starts falling out every time you wash it. Castor oil works almost like a protective barrier. It helps lock moisture into the scalp, reduce irritation, and because of its extremely thick texture, it can also make the hair appear fuller and denser. A lot of people over 50 struggle with dry, brittle hair, not because their hair is beyond saving, but because the scalp gradually loses its natural oils with age. And that's exactly why so many people feel like their hair keeps getting weaker, even though their diet hasn't changed very much at all. One study suggested that regular scalp massage combined with castor oil may noticeably improve hair thickness after a few months. Not the kind of dramatic overnight growth you see in advertisements, but a slow, genuine recovery process. And honestly, that's exactly what an aging body needs most. Sustainable healing. The way to use it is very simple. Warm the castor oil slightly before applying it. Part your hair into small sections. Gently massage the scalp for about 5 minutes. And if possible, leave it on overnight. A lot of people give up far too early because they expect results within just a few days. But hair follicles need time to recover. After about 8 to 12 weeks, many people begin noticing less hair shedding, stronger strands, and hair that looks fuller under bright light. But while castor oil mainly helps protect the scalp and make hair appear thicker, the next oil focuses on a completely different issue that very few people ever think about. Silent scalp inflammation. Tea tree oil. Have you noticed something interesting? A lot of people with thinning hair also struggle with dandruff, itchy scalp, or a scalp that feels far more sensitive than it used to. And that's not a small issue. A naturally occurring fungus on the scalp can begin to overgrow as we age. This creates a low level of chronic inflammation around the hair follicles. And when the follicles stay inflamed all the time, DHT can damage them much more easily. Tea tree oil has powerful antifungal and antibacterial properties. It helps cleanse the scalp environment, reduce dandruff, calm itching, and at the same time, improve blood circulation beneath the skin. And here's the part that really matters. After the age of 50, many people develop scalp inflammation without ever realizing it. No redness, no pain, just hair follicles that slowly weaken over time. When tea tree oil is used the right way, many people start noticing that their scalp feels cleaner and more comfortable within just a few weeks. The itching becomes much less noticeable. The scalp feels less oily, and that creates a much healthier environment for hair follicles to recover. But there's one very important thing to remember. Never apply pure tea tree oil directly to the scalp. It's far too strong. Mix just a few drops with a carrier oil like jojoba oil or coconut oil. Gently massage the thinning areas of the scalp for a few minutes. Then rinse it out after about 30 minutes. Sometimes, improving the health of the scalp environment is just as important as any hair growth treatment out there. And now, we're moving into the group of oils that may have a much stronger direct effect on DHT itself. Saw Palmetto oil. This is one of the names that has captured a lot of attention in hair loss research. Because the way it works is actually very similar to some well-known hair loss medications, but in a more natural way. DHT is created when testosterone is converted by an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase. Saw Palmetto may help block this enzyme. In simple terms, it may help reduce DHT levels before the hormone has a chance to damage the hair follicles. Some studies have shown that people who use saw Palmetto consistently may see noticeable improvements in hair density after a few months. And this is the part that especially interests many older adults. A lot of people want to improve their hair, but they're concerned about the side effects of hormonal medications. Saw Palmetto has gained attention because it may offer a more natural, gentler form of support for the body. And what I personally like about this oil is that it may do more than just reduce hair shedding. It may also help slow down the process of miniaturization. That's the process where hair follicles gradually shrink over time, producing thinner, weaker, shorter hairs until eventually they stop producing visible hair altogether. That's the process where the hair follicles gradually shrink over the years. At first, the hair only becomes slightly thinner. Then it grows shorter. It grows more slowly. And eventually, it almost disappears completely. A lot of people think their hair loss happened suddenly. But in reality, the follicles had been quietly weakening for years beforehand. If you want to use saw Palmetto effectively, try to choose a high-quality cold-pressed oil. Apply it directly to thinning areas at night. Gently massage for a few minutes and leave it on overnight if possible. And the most important thing of all is consistency. Not using a huge amount for a few days, but staying consistent long enough for the hair follicles to truly recover. If you're still watching at this point, leave a comment and tell me which country you're watching from. I always read your comments, and honestly, I love seeing this community become more and more focused on health after the age of 50. And now, let's move on to the oil that surprised a lot of researchers, pumpkin seed oil. At first, it sounds more like a cooking ingredient than a hair solution. But sometimes, the most powerful things come from the simplest places. One well-known study found that the group using pumpkin seed oil experienced a significant increase in hair count after just a few months. What makes pumpkin seed oil especially interesting is that it contains natural phytosterols, compounds that may help support hormone balance related to hair loss. And this becomes extremely important after the age of 50. In women, estrogen levels gradually decline after menopause, causing androgens to become relatively more dominant. That's why hair can begin thinning in a pattern very similar to male hair loss. In men, DHT continues building up over the years, causing the crown area to become thinner and thinner over time. Pumpkin seed oil helps create a more supportive hormonal environment for the hair follicles. At the same time, it's rich in zinc, magnesium, and iron, minerals that hair follicles need in order to produce strong, healthy strands. A lot of people focus only on finding a hair growth treatment, but forget that hair follicles also need proper nourishment to function. It's like trying to force a tree to grow again, while the soil underneath has already been completely depleted. And the way to use it is fairly simple. You can apply it directly to the scalp a few times a week, or combine it with an oral supplement form if it's suitable for your body and overall health. What I really like about pumpkin seed oil is that it works well for many older adults with sensitive scalps. It's gentle, less irritating, but its hormonal effects can still be surprisingly powerful. And now, we come to the oil that sits at the very top of the list, rosemary oil. If there's one natural oil that has been studied the most for hair growth, this is the name that keeps coming up. One well-known study actually compared rosemary oil to minoxidil, to the active ingredient commonly used in hair loss treatments. And what surprised researchers was this. After several months, the improvement in hair density was surprisingly similar between the two groups. But the group using rosemary oil experienced far less scalp irritation. And that's exactly what made many experts start looking at rosemary oil in a completely different way. Because rosemary oil appears to work through multiple mechanisms at the same time. It may help reduce DHT, reduce inflammation around the hair follicles, improve blood circulation to the scalp, and, most importantly, it may help reactivate dormant hair follicles. That's why many people begin noticing tiny new baby hairs appearing again around the hairline after using it consistently for a few months. And here's the most fascinating part of all. A lot of hair follicles aren't actually dead yet. They're simply in a kind of hibernation state. When the scalp environment improves, blood flow increases, and DHT levels are reduced, the hair follicles may begin functioning again. It's not magic, it's biology. The best way to use rosemary oil is to mix it with jojoba oil. Massage the scalp gently for about 5 minutes every evening. And that massage step is incredibly important because it helps increase blood flow to the hair follicles, almost like reopening the flow of nutrients to dry, depleted soil. After a few weeks, many people notice that their hair shedding slowly begins to decrease. After a few months, the hair often starts looking fuller and thicker under bright light. And for many people, the biggest change isn't just their hair. It's the return of confidence. They stop avoiding mirrors. They stop feeling the need to wear hats all the time. And they no longer feel helpless every time they see hair collecting in the shower drain. And if there's one thing I hope you remember after watching today's video, it's this. Hair doesn't become thin overnight. So recovery takes time too. But the human body has an incredible ability to heal when it's given the right support, enough patience, and enough consistency. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to try everything all at once. You just need to start with one small change and stay consistent long enough for your body to respond. If this video helped you better understand what's really happening to your hair after the age of 50, make sure to subscribe to the channel, share this video with someone else who's worried about thinning hair, and leave a comment below telling me which oil you'd want to try first. Because I truly believe this, when we understand our bodies the right way, there is always hope. Thank you so much for watching today's video. And I'll see you again in the next one.